Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Tuesday. This is the time of the week where I go live and see who's online, if anybody, and fingers crossed everything works for the whole live stream. Sometimes it doesn't, but we've had a few weeks in a row where it has been working, so fingers crossed we can see if we can keep that run going. And I'm just going to say a massive thank you to everybody out there for liking and subscribing the channel, because as of this day, I've passed 107,000 subscribers, which sounds like a crazy number. But thank you guys so much for watching the videos and liking and subscribing. And just to mention as well, we have a little bit of action in the live chat section over there. Hello guys, thank you for joining me tonight, and we have Gil and Ian and Laurie and KADJ and Brian. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in, and Rose and Kerry and Chopping Broccoli and Mr. Irish. Hello guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And Laurie, straight off the bat, has already said spike the likes. So if you can leave a like as you come through the door, that would be great and massively appreciated. We always aim for 300 on these live streams, so we'll see where we are in about an hour's time. But if we can start off getting those likes in early, that would be great. So, I also want to mention the names of my patrons who, well, the names you can see at the bottom of the screen. I'm sure you're used to this now with the live streams. These are the people that make this live stream and every video that I do on YouTube possible. So thank you guys so much for your support, and a lot of these are in the chat room anyway, and they also answer my questions over on Patreon in terms of asking for tracks to play on the live stream Tuesday, because I can never decide what to play. And thank you guys for answering the question that I pose over there, but for giving me the answers so that I can organize the show and play the videos tonight. So I hope you guys had a great weekend and that your Monday wasn't too bad. But another thing I just want to mention about next week's live stream will technically be Christmas Day here, and at the moment I'm planning just to have a normal Tuesday, so I will probably still be here live streaming. If there will be anybody around, I do not know. People are probably busy doing lots of other things, but I will be here technically on Christmas Day, still live streaming as it stands. If that's not going to happen, I'll let you guys know, but it most probably will be happening next week. I'll be streaming and just seeing who's in the house on Christmas Eve, as it will probably be in most places as I'm doing the live stream. I think there are quite a lot of you over in the USA, but if you can let me know where you are in the comment section, that would be great, because maybe it'll still be Christmas Eve where you are, but it'll be Christmas Day where I am. I'll try and do something fancy with next week's live stream, because it will actually be Christmas, but we will see if I can get some other things on screen rather than just having a red chat room. But this is still even more advanced than it was before, having all of this stuff on screen. So thank you guys again for your support and for allowing these kind of things to happen, and to get even more involved with the live stream and all of the things I can put on screen, the animations, all that kind of stuff. And I just want to mention as well that I have received a message from YouTube who have said about reaching the 100,000 subscriber mark, and I get a code and I get the silver awards, something like that. And I will let you guys know when that award arrives, and I'll show it to everybody. Maybe I'll just do a video on that for one night, because it is quite an important place to be in terms of getting to 100,000 subscribers. Is just crazy. So I might do a video one night just showing the award, or maybe just showing how it arrives, because it's all new to me as well, and I don't think many channels manage to get to 100,000. It's just amazing that you guys have been liking and subscribing, so thank you so much. And just to interrupt myself, we've got a little bit of action in the super chat window, and this is Gina Cena has donated $19.99. Thank you so much for that, Gina. And the message is, I want to send love to all the wingers and a bit of tea money for Phil. Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Gina, and thank you for the tea money. That is a lot of tea money. That'll keep me going all the way through Christmas and the new year. One live stream, I'll have to make a cup of tea and slurp it live and just really annoy everybody. But thank you so much for that, Gina. We just had another donation, and this is R. Gray, who has donated $10, and that's a straight up donation, no message with that, but thank you so much for that $10 donation. I'm going to be getting into the first video of the night, just because I sometimes just talk for ages, especially something like hitting such a big number on YouTube is obviously massive news, and I would talk about that for the whole live stream, but I'm also going to play these videos that have been requested over on Patreon. So the first one we're going to be listening to is my lyric video of a track on my album. The album's called Persistence. You can get that on iTunes and Amazon and wingsofpegasus.com/store. But if you just get to Wings of Pegasus, even just in Google, you'll find where you're going, because it all is ranked number one in terms of those are all my sites and places there. So you can head over to wingsofpegasus.com. This is my track called Percy Johnson from my album called Persistence. As always, I'm going to be in the comment section while this is playing, so I'll see you guys in there, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! And there we have it. That was my track called Percy Johnson. I hope you guys enjoyed that from my album called Persistence. And during that video, we had a little bit of action in the super chat window, and it was up on screen. It already is on screen, which is great. We've got Rose, who donated $5, and the message was, what is your personal favorite song to perform? And I think probably Percy Johnson, the one that you just heard, is pretty cool because of the backing harmonies, and this is taking for granted that I can get people to sing the backing harmonies because I can't do them all at once myself, but it's just a high energy track, and I quite like the solo as well. But there are so many different songs that I like for different reasons, especially playing them live, and there are some versions that are live and they differ somewhat to the recorded version on the album just because of live setups and not being able to maybe get all of the instruments in there. Maybe one day I'll have a band of like 7 or 8 people putting everything that's on the album into the live tracks, but it's quite fun sometimes to do a live version of a track that's slightly different. And we'll probably have that in a video later because I will be playing We Can Fall Down, which is another one of my tracks, but I'll do it from the live gig that I did. It was a live streamed gig over the internet before streaming was a thing, and I had to go through a server in Germany in order to achieve that. But I'll be playing that later on because that is the live version of We Can Fall Down, and it's slightly different in terms of the arrangement than is on the album, but hopefully it's close enough that people don't really think it's a rubbish version. It's just the same song, just worked differently. Because I write all the songs and play all the songs and do everything on the songs myself, it means arranging them for live is pretty straightforward because I can just go for the same vibe that I went for in the studio when I actually recorded it in this very room with this microphone. So we'll be listening to that a little bit later. But thank you, Rose, for that donation and for the question. And Linda has donated as well, and that is $5. Thank you so much for that, Linda. And I can't quite see all of the question there, but I'm going to have a go at reading it anyway. The question is, what changes did you make that began the acceleration of your YouTube channel and other stuff? Maybe it says, I can't see the bottom line, and I think this is something that just happens with YouTube. It cuts off that bottom line for some reason. I don't know why, but thank you, Linda, for that donation. And in terms of what accelerated my subscribers and views on YouTube, I think it was just keeping going. I've been on YouTube since 2011, so I've been on here quite a while, and I've done so many different kinds of videos, and people that have been here for a long time will remember my riff of the week that I used to do every Sunday, and I did that for 100 days, maybe more in a row, and that was something that I used to do every week. And then a couple of years ago is once I started doing the analysis videos that I had been asked to do by my patrons over on Patreon, and it just so happened that more people started watching them. Originally, I had 24 patrons that those videos were for, and I just put them on Patreon and just did a new one every night, and it just so happened that quite a lot more people started watching the videos on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but what I will say is that over the last 8-9 years on YouTube, I always watch videos, creator videos about, meta tags and how to make your thumbnail more interesting and how to try and get more views on videos. And there are so many things to learn about and to, I guess, hone your craft of creation, being a creator on YouTube. I also did a course by Peter Hollands, who's a big creator here on YouTube, and he does amazing a cappella versions of songs, and he's a really big channel in his own right. He did a course, and I got that course and went through it, and I completed it in about a week because I was every night just trying to learn as much as I could about what Peter did and how he approached his YouTube channel to then try and learn how to do that myself. And I don't think having all of the knowledge in the world about YouTube isn't going to make you successful on YouTube. You've just got to do something that you enjoy and have got a passion for, and music is the thing that I've been doing on here all the time, and it just so happens that people started to tune in for the thing that I was doing on Patreon just every night, and things seem to have exploded over the last 2 years since doing a video every night. And that is another thing I think that Peter Hollins said on his course: do as much as you can. Obviously not to the point where you're going to kill yourself and die from stress or whatever, but just put in the effort and you will see the rewards. So it's something that I've made a point of doing a video every single night for the last 2 years, and it seems to be working, and seeing you guys every Tuesday night is just part of my week now, and it's something that I enjoy doing, as well as all the other videos that I do during the week. But thank you so much, Linda, for that donation. I know that that was a bit of a long-winded reply, but hopefully I've answered the question. I can see it now. It said YouTube subscribership and how long ago was that? So thankfully I managed to get in the answer correctly. But thank you, Linda. We've had another donation from Choppin' Broccoli, who has donated $10, and the message is: ditto on the love to all the wingers. Get yourself an extra orange chocolate. Phil, also we love it when you talk. So thank you for that donation and for the kind words. And it's called a chocolate orange, but an orange chocolate, I guess, is just the same taste of chocolate but just coloured orange, whereas a chocolate orange is chocolate that tastes a bit like orange. So that is what we have at Christmas, and I will definitely be out there buying as many chocolate oranges that I can afford, probably. And if I start to look a little bit different, I'll probably turn a bit like an orange. But then again, a chocolate orange, I'll start to maybe look tanned, which would be great. If I can actually get a tan while eating chocolate oranges, that would be great. But anyway, thank you, Choppin' Broccoli, for that donation. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in again tonight on this live stream Tuesday. I'm going to be getting through the videos. The next one we have coming up is going to be a cover video. This was requested over on Patreon, and this one is a song by Journey, and it's called Don't Stop Believing. And this is one of those videos that did get a little bit of traction when I released it in terms of people watching it on YouTube. Not amazing numbers, but enough to get some attention, and Classic Rock Magazine said some kind things about this performance, and also Neil Schon got in touch with me personally to say that he really liked the cover that I did, which is really cool as well. So a massive thank you to him for even contacting me and following me now on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get straight into this. It's my cover, Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, I'm going to be in the comment section, and I'll see you guys after this. And hopefully I always think that I've set up the show incorrectly because it's just my default to think that, but hopefully this is all going to play and it's going to be fine, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! Small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. much for watching my cover of Don't Stop Believing by Journey. The names you can see here are my patrons. Hi patrons, thanks so much for your support and for making videos like this possible. If you want to get involved yourself and if you want to talk to me and maybe suggest some other songs that I can cover, head to this website down here, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And if I don't see you on Patreon, I'll see you at the next video. Have a great day. Rock! And there we have it. That was my cover of the Journey classic, Don't Stop Believin', and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for the kind words going through the comment section as that was going through. I just want to work my way through these super chats as well because we've had some action in that section. And first of all, it was Jen who donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Jen. The message is, did you ever get any info on getting your music on retail music systems in stores? So what happens is I go through a company called TuneCore and you pay maybe £20 or £30. It might even be less than that. And that's a yearly subscription to their service, and they will put your songs on iTunes or Amazon or Spotify if you want to have them there, but I don't suggest doing Spotify. But the reason that I don't suggest doing Spotify, just to clear that up, is that in order to make minimum wage on Spotify, you need to have something like 1.1 million streams. And I had 16,000 streams, which you think would be great because if you bought a song every time you listen to it, that means that I would have got maybe, what would that be, £14,000, something like that. But I made £12, and that is Spotify, unfortunately. The amount that you make per stream is ridiculously low. It's like 0.0001 of a pence or something stupid. So I'd say iTunes, Amazon is where I keep my music, and I also sell it through my website, which is the way to go if you want to get everything for your music and not have to pay a third party. The great thing about TuneCore is that once you've paid that upfront fee, then you can put your music in stores, and any store that you want to. The options are pretty much limitless in terms of where they will distribute it, but then you make all the money for each of those sales once obviously iTunes and Amazon have had their cut, but they don't take anything other than the subscription every year. So that is what I do. So in terms of getting the music out there, I'm quite selective in terms of the sites that I allow it on, because with streaming services, it's not really that... I don't think it's financially viable for an independent artist and an independent band, any bands out there, to put all of your music on streaming services that offer free streaming. They'll say free for 4 weeks or free for 6 months. So how do the artists that you're listening to get paid for their music? And the simple answer is they don't. So that's why I avoid a lot of those streaming services, but then make sure that people do know it's all on my website, wingsofpegasus.com. But thank you, Jen, for that donation and for the question as well, because I think it's important for independent bands to know that they can get all of their music on all of the music sites and not have to give up anything in order to do that. If you've just got 20 quid that you can pay a year, then it makes so much sense just to do that. And once you get a sale, you've pretty much sold 2 albums, you've made back the money that you've paid for the year to have it on these sites. So definitely worth going down that avenue, but thank you, Jen, for that. And we've had another donation, and this is from Amar, who has donated €2.29, and the message is, for the music and your videos, ciao friend. So thank you, Amar, for that donation. And we've had a couple more than a couple. Chopping Broccoli has donated again $10. Thank you so much for that, for another donation. The question is, Phil, I know you've said you've really improved your vocals over the years, but have you always been able to sing? Amazing cover. Thank you for the kind words. And in terms of my singing, I probably only started singing properly when I was maybe 28, 29, around that kind of age. So we're talking about a long time, 7-8 years ago now. But before, when I was maybe 17 or 18, I tried to sing, but I definitely couldn't sing because I couldn't really hold pitch, and I was more trying to make noises that sounded like singing rather than actually singing. So for me, it's been probably a 7-year journey of learning to sing, and I'm still not really confident with my voice because I know that I've still got to work at it and make it more consistent. The one thing that I did really focus on, and it's interesting because I was speaking to Ian about this the other day, because Ian, if he's in the comment section, is doing some of his own recording and original songs. And I said to him what I'll say to you guys if you are learning to sing. The first thing I concentrated on was pitch. Being able to sing in key, because that is a deal breaker. If you're trying to sing and you're not hitting the notes and you're slightly sharp and slightly flat, it doesn't matter how great your technique is, it won't sound very good. So I would say really concentrate to begin with on pitch, because even if you're singing straight notes, if they are on pitch all the time, it's still going to sound nice. It's not going to be a little bit awkward to listen to. And just think of somebody learning to play the violin. If you imagine that violin being slightly off all the time, it does great on people's ears, and it's the way to approach your singing. And this is why nowadays, I mean, this is the ultimate in compliments that I think you can get as a singer. Somebody saying, oh, you're using auto-tune on your voice, because if you've concentrated on it that much, people will think that you might be using auto-tune because you're so accurate. And that is the point that you can get to. Obviously, if you're using auto-tune, you lose a lot of the feel and emotion in the vocal, and people can tell straight away. The producers out there will be able to hear auto-tune, like I've mentioned in so many videos. But if you get to a point where people think it's so good it must be auto-tuned, that is the point you want to get to, because the producers will know out there that it's not auto-tuned, and people that can hear in detail, and producers and people that have had a history in music production and the music industry will be able to hear the notes that are slightly off, but that's the expression, and that's the part that people won't notice is off key, but they'll hear the expression in there. So definitely, if you are learning to sing, just focus on pitch first and then start to add all of the other things afterwards, like the support and the vibrato. That's how I did it. I think starting to sing on pitch was the main thing when people first started saying, oh, your voice has improved, or you sound good as a singer, and you're so lucky to have that ability. Whereas I know that I've worked at it in order to get really accurate pitch-wise and then apply vibrato and all the other things afterwards. But anyway, thank you so much, Chopping Broccoli, for that question. A long answer. I apologize for that. And we will be getting back to the video soon. But let me just get through this super chat section. We've had another donation from Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Thank you so much for another donation. And the message is, I'm amazed at how you can adapt your voice to all the covers you do. You never seem like you're reaching too hard for the sound, just making it your own. So thank you, Lynn, so much for that donation and for the kind words. This again goes back to something that I do say when I'm speaking about vocalists, and especially when you analyze so much music as I do nightly, I think you start to pick up tips and things that so many singers and guitarists have in common that you can start to apply to your own artistry. And it's why I think some people that say, oh, I don't like that music, so I'm never going to listen to it. If you are a musician yourself, being open to so many different genres will help you. And this is certainly something that I found listening to singers, the way that they did things, the way that a great singer isn't really ever off key, and it's just a given that they sing on pitch. So that was my first thing that I concentrated on. But also, singing in your range. This is a massive thing that I want to throw out there as well. If you're learning to sing, don't try and sing songs that are out of your range. And even if they are out of your range, bring them into your range. Know where your range is. Go to a piano, go to a guitar, find where your high note is and find where your low notes are, and just try and sing within your range and never push yourself too much. Of course, you can work at your vocals to then increase your range, but to begin with, just sing songs that are in your range. And if there's a song that you really want to sing, but you can't quite reach it, bring it down. It's like when you walk around town and you're singing a song in your head, or you're humming a song, you never hum it out of your range. It's always adapted for your voice. And that's exactly what you want to do when you perform it live, or if you do a cover video of something, just bring it to a comfortable place for your voice, because it's not about having the same range as other singers, because that is impossible to have the same range as every singer in the world. But when you do cover lots of different songs, just sing in your range and try and get it as close to that original key. But if you do need to take it down a semitone or a tone, then do it, because overall it's going to sound better, because it'll be your version of their song. But that is my advice to everyone out there. It's turning into a live stream vocal advice session. But Lynn, thank you so much for that donation. And Linda has donated again. And thank you so much for that, Linda. It's $10. And the message is, you have your chocolate orange. So here's a little extra for some Turkish delight. And well remembered from last live stream. Turkish delight is something that I also like to tuck into at Christmas time, and for some reason only at Christmas time, but I will certainly be doing that. Thank you, Linda, so much. And Empress Mermaid has donated $5, and the message is, hope you don't stop believing how much I love that Journey cover. You give Arnel some competition. Oh, don't tell him I said that. So, I mean, that'd be great to bump into the guys. And I mean, going back to Steve Perry, the original vocalist, I did see Journey at, I don't know which year it was, probably a while back now, but it's Download Festival. And that was in Donington. And it was obviously the new Journey lineup without Steve, but what an amazing job those guys do. Just Neil is a legend on guitar anyway. But going back to Steve, because his voice is one of those voices that you don't try and take on. Don't try and sing it exactly the same as Steve, because I think you're always destined to fail, because he's such an amazing vocalist, unless you've got that natural sound to your voice and your range already sits there. So it's certainly something that I wanted to put my own spin on. And I mean, nowadays it's still a great lineup, and Arnel is just such an amazing singer himself. And being from the UK, I'm not sure whether I pronounce the Arnel in his name correctly, but fingers crossed it's okay. But such an amazing vocalist to take on the whole of that back catalogue of Journeys live as well. Like I said, I've seen him live, so he absolutely nails it. Such great vocal technique. But thank you so much, Empress Mermaid, for that donation. And we've had another donation under that, and it's Your Soul Knows with $30. Thank you so much for that donation. And the message with that is, Merry Christmas, Phil. Great cover. You're so talented, and I hope you achieve all you dream of in life. So thank you for those kind words, and Merry Christmas to you as well, and everybody out there. But if you do join me next week, I'll be able to say Merry Christmas on the very day. So thank you for that $30 donation. And Amar has donated again with €2.29, and Amar says, see you later. So I think Amar is off for tonight, but thank you, Amar, for tuning in and for the donations. And we've had another donation of $15 from JC's Radiant Ray. So thank you so much for that. The message is, I'm so glad I found your channel. I'm learning a lot from you. So thank you for tuning in. And it's great that you're learning. Anything is great in terms of learning. I always find on YouTube, as soon as I start clicking on videos, especially about the universe and stuff like this that I do find interesting, I can be there for hours just finding out about the universe and how much we know and how much we don't know. But it's great that if people can watch this channel and get something from it and learn something about either playing the guitar or artistry in general, arrangements. That's certainly something that we had last night with Zach Brown. The way that he arranges with his band everything live and how well executed it is. And just it's great to look at great bands like that and break it all down as to what's actually going on, because like I mentioned in the video yesterday, it's a great blueprint for everybody that might be in a band and want to get a good live sound. You always start with these fundamentals of just bringing everything in bit by bit and not going all out straight away unless you are going for that intentionally musically. Maybe you're in a hard rock band or a heavier kind of genre in terms of heavy metal, and then you do want to try and blow people's faces off. But for singer-songwriter stuff and country music, there's a lot of dynamics in that, but also bringing dynamics into the heavier genres. That's what the top bands do as well. There's so much that they share in common. But anyway, thank you so much for that $15 donation. And Gil has donated $20 again, another donation. And the message is, Phil, happy holidays to you and all the fellow travelers out there. So thank you for that, and nice working of my name into the word travelers. And thank you so much for that $20 donation, all of you guys in the super chat section. Everybody for tuning in. Laurie in the comments has said, spike the likes. And if we can, that would be great. We're 39 minutes into the stream. If you can give it a thumbs up, that would be great, because it really does help this channel to grow. And like I mentioned, over 107,000 subscribers now on the channel, which is crazy. Thank you guys so much for clicking that subscribe button. Right, we've had another donation from Beanie Angela, who's donated $10, and there's no message with that, but thank you, Angela, for that. Another serial donator who was here last week as well. We have Rose, who has donated $5, and the message is, what is the best advice anyone has ever given you, advice that has stayed with you? We're getting some deep questions tonight, and Rose is especially good at these kind of questions. I don't want to go on for too long answering the questions, but in terms of advice that I've been given, a guy called Ash, who I used to speak to, well, me and the guitarist from the band, we were called Wings of Pegasus at that time, and it was my project, and the other guitarist had a similar view in terms of we were all pulling in the same direction. And I don't think the rest of the band, unfortunately, could keep up because we were very dedicated. It then just turned out that I then, probably, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe 5 or 7 years ago, then just went on my own and took everything online and did everything myself. But back in those days, there was this guy called Ash and his second name was Bull. So it was Ash Bull. He said to me and this other guitarist that whenever you're thinking of something or doing something, just do it, because there's nothing to lose. All you can do is fail. So for the last, I don't know how long, all I've ever done is do stuff. So if I thought, oh, it might be a good idea to do a live stream, I'd do the live stream. If I thought it might be a good idea to do a cover of Johnny Be Good from Back to the Future, I did it. And anything I could think of, I just did relentlessly. And I think that just gets you in a frame of mind of getting used to failing, which I think is good, that if you put your heart and soul into something and you keep on failing, but you keep on going, it makes you so strong that nothing can ever push you down or keep you down. You're always going to get up. So if you have an idea and you do a gig and it was a total joke of a gig and it was really depressing and it was really badly organized, you just go on to the next thing and then record another video. Just keep on pushing forward. If you get knocked down, just as Rocky says, get up. It's not how hard you can get hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep on moving forward. So that's exactly what I've done all these years, and it is paying off now, because I think I'm so used to failing that once things do actually go well, you appreciate it so much more. And it's why I appreciate every single one of you who's watching this video, every single one of my patrons who allow me to do so much on YouTube, because there were times where nobody would be watching and I'd be doing gigs and nobody would be turning up. And like I said, I've been on YouTube since 2011, but I've been doing the band thing since the age of 19. So it also makes me laugh when you get some teenagers who say, oh, I've been wanting to do this my whole life. And then you think, well, I started doing this when I was a teenager, and only in the last 2 years really have things started to take off noticeably, and I start to make a bit of money from my music. So that's almost 20 years we're talking about just hard graft, but it does pay off in the end. So that is the best advice I've been given, is just do everything you can think of relentlessly and never ever give up, because the time that you're about to succeed is the time that everybody gives up. And I've been there. I felt like giving up, but I've just also felt that I'm not going to give up. I'm not one of these people that is going to just accept that nothing's going to work. I'm going to make it work come hell or high water. But anyway, thank you, Rose, so much for that donation. Again, another long answer, but it's a deep question, and hopefully you guys out there, if you are in a band, just keep on pushing forward, and there's going to be plenty of knocks along the way, but it makes you appreciate it so much more when you do start to make a bit of headway. But we've had another donation from Debbie, and it says, thank you, just a man. So thank you. It's not a man, it's a man shaped as a pear. This guy that pops up in the super chat whenever there is a donation, I think it's called a sticker or something like that. But Debbie, thank you so much for the pear-shaped man saying thank you, and the $9.99 donation. And then we've had another donation, and this is for $5, and it's Me Too, who I did mention last week. I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to say the name this live stream. I'm going to keep it all very secret and straightforward with the usernames, just in case people don't want their real names on screen. I don't know, maybe Me Too can tell me in the comment section if it's okay to say your name. But the message is: spike the like, vibe the subscribe, nail the bell, send a friend. So this is one of those really amazing, if you can even have such a thing, poetry things that Me Too did send to me over on Patreon, and very talented with rhyming and poetry, just full stop. But also we've had send a friend added to the end of it, so thank you so much for that $5 donation. And this is Mary, because I've just got the go ahead to call her Mary to say her name. I did mention Mary last week, but I wasn't sure with hindsight whether it's something that some people don't like to have their name said, but here we go. So that's Mary, who is very much into poetry and writing. And with that, it could be a slogan. Is that something that you call it for the show? Spike the like, vibe the subscribe, nail the bell, send a friend. So thank you so much for that, Mary, and the donation. And Ryan has donated $5 as well. The message is: have you ever, or will you ever, release your original music on vinyl? It's a possibility if I make enough money to then realistically make it financially viable, because it's obviously a lot more costing wise in terms of putting something on a vinyl and getting them pressed and going through a company to do that. So it could happen in the future. It would be really cool to have a vinyl version of the album, but we will see what happens in the future. It is potentially something that we can achieve together. We've got a lot of people here, so fingers crossed, we will see. But thank you so much for that donation, and we're getting so much activity here. Thank you guys so much. Ian has donated $100, and Ian says, thanks for the advice over the week, Mr. Phil, much appreciated, with a smiley face. So that is the very Ian that I was mentioning earlier, who also has done a cover of Don't Cry. You can go and find that on his YouTube channel, and also is working on some of his singer, songwriter, folk-esque songs, which is really cool in there. And yeah, very much the advice that I gave earlier in this live stream is what I spoke with Ian earlier in the week about earlier in the week, obviously. But thank you so much, Ian. This is really a long spell of talking. Thank you so much for all of these super chat donations. I'm going to try and rush through them because we've got to get to the next video. We've got 2 more to go for tonight. But we had another donation, and this is Amar, who has donated €2.29 again, and the message is coming in French, please go go go. So thank you, Amar. And Luan has donated $2 as well from the cereal box, so thank you, Luan, for that donation with a winky face. And we have TN Moppy Laura. Because Laura's put her name, it threw me off. Tennessee Moppy, who's also known as Laura, and she's in charge of the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. So that's where Vince hosts the after party after this live stream. So head over there on Facebook after this live stream in order to continue chatting with everybody in the chat room. And thank you so much for that, Laura, the $10 donation. The message is, so glad you decided to stick with music instead of the exercise thing. Don't ever stop. So thank you, Laura. That was one of those decisions that I think it was pretty easy because I enjoyed music so much. It was a no-brainer, really, to move away from that competitive side of sport, which I wasn't heavily into in any way, really. I just like playing sport for recreational purposes, just to enjoy it, and very much something that I did with music. It was just all enjoyment, so it's just the route that I went down. As I said, a no-brainer, but thank you, Laura, for that donation. And Mark has donated $20, and the message is Merry Christmas from Lisa. So thank you, Lisa. Lisa always says to me, it's not Mark, and stop calling me Mark. So Lisa, thank you so much for that donation. And I just fell into the same trap because I just read from top to bottom. I just say Mark, and even though it's Lisa. So Lisa, thank you for that donation, the $20 donation. And we've had another donation from Leonard, who is giving $10. Thank you so much, Leonard. The message is Merry Christmas, bro, with a fist pump type animation thing that isn't animated. I think it's an emoticon they call it. But Leonard, thank you so much for that $10 donation, and Merry Christmas to you as well. And Michaeline's in the house. She has donated $9.99. Thank you, Michaeline. That's just a straight up donation. And Jay Ward has donated $10 and says more kinks. So thank you for that donation. I'm sure the kinks will be back here for another analysis video at some point, but thank you for that donation. Neil has donated $15, and the message is, Phil, great work in discussing the technical details in your analysis videos. We really appreciate the balance you strike in keeping it entertaining whilst elaborating on the theory behind the music. So thank you for that, Neil, and for the kind words. And thank you just for tuning in and for commenting and for liking and subscribing, because it really does help with this channel. While I'm talking about liking, if you haven't hit that like button, the thumbs up, please, if you could, that would be great, because it really does help this video but the whole channel to grow, and is a large part of the reason why these live streams are now getting out there even more, and we're getting even more subscribers to the channel and more people that can join in with the chat room and the live stream and everything that goes on here, and then also the after party over on Facebook. But thank you, Neil, for that donation. And let me just see, I think we're pretty much towards the bottom, which we are. So I've now got an opportunity. There might be one below this, but I can't see it yet, but we will get to it after this video. It's going to be the live version that I mentioned earlier of We Can Fall Down from my live stream that I did. It's slightly different to the recorded version, but I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
What am I supposed to be?
And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We've had a little bit of action in the super chat window again, and we've had a $10 donation from Fast Pony, and the message is much success and Merry Christmas, Dr. Phil Good. Laugh out loud. So thank you for that, Fast Pony, and thank you for the kind words. Merry Christmas as well. And underneath that, we have Lynn in the house again, in the house of the super chat window, because she's a regular in there. Thank you, Lynn, so much. This is a $50 donation, and the message is, thanks for We Can Fall Down. I love how it's slightly varied from the album version. Well done. So thank you for that, Lynn. And yes, there is a little bit of a difference in there, as I'm sure you guys can understand if you do know the album version and then the live version, but hopefully they're relatively similar in terms of the groove and the feel of everything that's being laid down. But thank you, Lynn, for that donation. And we've had another donation. It is Paul, who has donated $5, and the message is, I am a musician singer also. I was told I sing best as a tenor 10 or 11 miles away. Laugh out loud. Attempted humour. Keep spiking the likes. So thank you for that, Paul. And that was a good one. I didn't see that one coming. And so I was thinking as I was reading that a lot of people have different ranges and then what I was going to talk about, but it was all a joke in the end. But thank you, Paul, for that $5 donation. Much appreciated. And another thing I want to mention that I did mention last week, we had Frank Marino on the show maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And anyway, so he's going on tour, and last week I did show his tour dates, but I made the mistake of putting everything on screen, which meant that the audio from the camera that I'm talking into, well, this microphone that I'm talking into, gets cut as soon as anything else goes on screen. So I'm going to try and put up Frank Marino's tour dates again, because this is in the USA. So you guys, if you are anywhere near these towns, you can go and say hi to Frank from me, and if you mention Wings of Pegasus, he'll definitely say hi to you, and he knows the channel well, and we've spoken at length about many different things. But I'm going to put this up on screen now. Hopefully this works, and it might turn into a bit of a radio show vibe, because everything's going to go off the screen, but we will see. Fingers crossed. If you can still hear what I'm saying, then it's worked, but we will see. It looks like the audio is still going in. So these are the tour dates that Frank's got up on the website as well. You can go to his website. If you want to, you can just go to his YouTube channel and say hi, because Frank interacts with everybody that gets in touch with him. So he's one of these really cool, down-to-earth guys that are rare in the music industry, and especially that mainstream industry. But Frank will just say hi to everybody, so you can head over there. I'm going to leave it on screen just for a few more seconds so you guys can pause it if you're watching this on catch up, but also so you guys now can just see some of the dates, have a quick look through and see if Frank's going to be anywhere near you, because it will definitely be a show worth attending. Because check out his Blu-ray DVD blocks set, easy for me to say, but check that out if you get a chance, because it's definitely worth checking that out. But those are the dates. I'm going to take it down now, but you can just rewind it if you're watching this on catch up. Definitely worth an admission fee to go and see Frank Marino live. But thank you to Frank as well for joining me on the channel a few weeks ago and for talking with me for 4 hours or something stupid. It was just crazy what we were talking about in terms of all the different elements of the music industry and playing guitar and guitars and effects. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We've got one more video I think that we're going to be playing, but before I do, I think we've had another little bit of action in the super chat window. It sometimes gets a little bit difficult to keep track on everything, but The last donation was Chopping Broccoli again, and it was a $10 donation. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, I just love the message of we can fall down. Thanks, Phil. So thank you, and I'm glad you like the song. Very much the message in there of just keeping going, and that everybody falls down. Just try and get back up again and keep pushing forward, because some of the time, most of the time, things can only get better when you are all the way down at the bottom of that ladder. You can only climb up. Just keep on going and then see where you end up. But thank you so much for that donation. Thank you everybody in the Super Chat donation window for all of these donations. It is massively appreciated and really does help so much with the live streams, because it means that everything can just keep flowing. And like people will know, I always mention this about the old streams that used to go for 10 minutes and then break down and something would go wrong. But fortunately now things are relatively consistent. Having said that, I've probably put the kiss of death on this live stream and it will probably cut out now. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and for everybody in the chat window. Did I see Mario's name, or somebody type Mario? Because if Mario is in the house, we all say hello to Mario. So let's see if Mario is in there. I haven't seen his name yet, but some people are saying hello, Mario. We will see. Rose says Mario in the house. So hello, Mario. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I haven't seen a comment yet, but thank you everybody. We've got Debbie and Johnny O's and KADJ and Kathy and Barbara and Laura and KADJ and Mario. He's finally in the house. And this is quite late on because we have been going for a while now. I'm going to try and find exactly how long we've been going on this live stream. It's been over an hour already, and this is the thing that happens with the live streams. It just passes so quickly, but thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'm going to try and play one more video. I'm going to Patreon now to have a quick look to see if there's anything that people are requesting over there. Ian has requested a playing of Don't Cry. Now this is one of those situations where I haven't got it set up yet, but I'm going to play this, and fingers crossed this is the video for Don't Cry. This is for Ian, and I hope you guys enjoy it if it does work, and I'll see you guys after this. Everyone say hello to Mario, even though I think most people have done. If you get a chance as well, please hit that thumbs up, because we're coming to the end of the live stream now, and it looks like we only need 10 more people out there. We're looking for 10 people to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, we are looking at you. If you could, that would be great. It really does help. But I will see you guys after this. Rock. Go around thinking of her. And there we have it. That was my song called Don't Cry, featuring, or I should say guest featuring or guest starring my sister with, I don't even know. This has been going all year with a live stream that I've always said she doesn't even know she's in these videos being played in front of all these people on a Tuesday night. But I might tell her at Christmas time, because Christmas Day we're all going to her house and I'll say, by the way, lots of people are watching you on a Tuesday night. And that's what brothers are for. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the kind words in the comment section during that song, and to Ian for requesting that. And check out Ian's cover of that song over on his YouTube channel as well. And I'm not sure whether you can put the link in the comment section, but maybe if it's possible, then Ian, if he's still in the house, can put that link in there. But we will see if that's possible. But Ian has his own version of that song. And this is also an interesting thing, or the interesting thing about copyright, and how it's all so ridiculous that Ian asked me if he could do a cover of one of my songs, and I just said yes. And I think that's pretty much how it should work. You just ask the artist, and if they give you permission, then you just do it. You don't, well, I guess it's the artist or the record labels that say, no, you can't do that unless you give us X amount of pounds. This is something that I spoke with Frank Marino, about how he has to pay to play his own songs, because it's so ridiculous that he wants to play one of his songs and put it on YouTube. He can't do that until he pays a ridiculous amount of money to the publishing company. So it's all just about the money in the industry, whereas I just like the music side of it, of when somebody asks you and you just say yes, just fine, great, do it. That's what music is all about, just share it. And if it gets a little bit more exposure, if the artists are careful with their music, as I am, if somebody wants to buy a version of the song, just go to the artist's website and buy it. And that way the artist is getting all of the money for that, for their creation, but the person has got there through a cover. You know, so it all works out. It's just the greed starts to... Another one of my songs, there's a great plug for one of my songs called Greed. But it is that side of the industry, and why I stay outside the industry wherever possible. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And I'm going to try and see if I can scroll to the bottom of the super chat, because I'm not sure whether I've got through all of them. We have had a couple more, so just before we finish, and by the way, we did get to 300 likes, so thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up button. If you're watching this in the future, in terms of on catch up, you can still hit that like button. Every single like helps this video and the channel to grow as a whole. So it looks like we're at 311, so thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. It is massively appreciated. And back into the super chat window, we have Byron Porter, who has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Byron. And the message is, hey Phil, I would love to see your review of singer Haley Reinhart, her Seven Nation Army or Creep. Your perspectives are so good. So thank you for that, Byron. And yes, I will add that to my list of requests in terms of my video list that I've got. And thank you so much for that $9.99 donation. And then DM has donated $1.99. And the message is, Phil, do you like Sarah Brightman, a fellow Brit and fave? And Sarah, I don't think is on the channel yet, but I will certainly put that on my list now. As to get to Sarah, it's not somebody that I've spent a hell of a lot of time listening to, but especially once I start getting into the analysis videos, I do spend a lot of time listening to these particular artists, and ones that I've heard of, ones that I haven't heard of, but especially Sarah being a fellow Brit, it could be a good idea to get a little bit of that on the channel as well. But I do feature anyone and everyone. It doesn't really matter where they're from, it just depends where they are on the list. Whoever's next I will then get to. So everybody out there who has suggested or requested in the comments different artists, I will get to them eventually. It just takes a bit of time, especially when there are potentially hundreds of requests. It does take a while to get through all of them. But thank you so much for that $1.99 donation and the request as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, because it's going to be the end of the live stream tonight. And let me just try and get that super chat window up on screen, because I think now it's sorted itself out. I don't know why this happens at the end of the live stream. It seems to be more consistent, but then having said that, it might then go wrong now that it's up on screen. We've had another donation from Luan, who has donated $2. Thank you so much for that, Luan. And I can't see the message with that, so like I said, I've just put the curse on it. It's not showing up, but thank you so much for that. And it looks like we've had another donation of $20 from Jeff in Lower Alabama. So thank you so much for that, Jeff. It hasn't shown up on the screen just because I said that it's now working. It now isn't working. But thank you so much, Jeff, for that $20 donation, and Luan for that $2 donation. We are going to be, unfortunately, wrapping it up for tonight because we're 1 hour 13 into this live stream. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And let me just mention as well, Laura has just donated, and the other ones have now appeared. Laura's one has been cut off, but the message is, let me try and catch it on the right hand side. Thanks for Boz, Skags, and who is older, you or your sister? My sister is older than me, but don't tell her I said that because she'll go crazy. But yes, she's a little bit older than I am, almost 2 years in it. So yeah, she was around first on this earth, and then I came and ruined her life, now being the center of attention for my parents when I was born. And I'm sure there were reasons why she used to do things to get me in trouble, because yeah, I just showed up fashionably late and just ruined everything. But thank you so much for that donation. And again, I'm still ruining things to this day by showing her on my live streams without her knowledge. But thank you so much for that donation, Laura and Jeff before that, and Luan. Everybody in that super chat window, thank you so much for all of these donations. It makes such a difference to these live streams, and they are the reason that I can go uninterrupted for an hour and a quarter. This would never have been possible on my previous live stream. So thank you guys so much, everybody in the super chat window and everybody at the bottom of the screen. Those are my patrons that make everything possible. Thank you. You're so appreciated. I know that I do say it and message people over on Patreon, but I really do mean it, that it's because of you guys that all of this is possible and the channel is growing and I can put so much time into it. You guys are the foundation. If this was a band, you guys are the drums and the bass of this band, the foundation that everything is just set upon, and everything that is built on is that foundation. So thank you guys so much. If you want to get involved yourself over on Patreon, I'll put the link on screen just before the end of this live stream, so you guys can head over there to get your name at the bottom of the screen on these live streams and to get involved yourself. There's lots of stuff over there, and all these people at the bottom of the screen make such a difference, make it all possible, and they also pop up in the super chat section on these live streams as well. So thank you guys so much. You know who you are. So I'm going to be calling a night now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Pam and James and Your Soul Knows and Tara and Barbara and Last Star Day 7 and Amar and Dan, KADJ, Robert, Plastico Flamingo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and Mario, of course, for gracing us with his presence, and I think being the reason why we got to 300 likes, because we were at 290 and then Mario turns up and suddenly we're at over 300. So thank you, Mario, for achieving that. And Mario's influence on the live stream is so stupendous that these kind of things are possible when he's around. But everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. I will see you next week. I will be here on Christmas Eve where you are. It'll be Christmas Day where I am. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. If you are busy and I don't see you next week, then I'll probably still be on with New Year's Eve. Again, maybe I can do a special live stream for that. But if I don't see you at the next two live streams, I'm always going to be in the comments section of the analysis videos that I do. So feel free to put a message in there and I'll make sure that I look through them, especially for the requests and all of these suggestions. I go through them and hit the thumbs up and the little heart icon just to show that I've read it and made a note of any suggestion that your comment might involve or include. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I'll see you in the comment section, and maybe I'll see you next week or the week after. I will be here, but then obviously have a great Christmas if I don't see you, and a great New Year if I don't see you then, and we'll pick it back up again in 2020. But just for the record, I will be here next week and the week after, unless you hear a massive announcement from me saying that I won't be here, but I'll make it really obvious if I'm not going to be. So unless you hear from me, I will be here. I'm really drawing this out as long as possible. I don't know why, but thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Rock!